Hey, soul survivors, we are going to take a look inside that narcissistic brain that we have been dealing with. They like to do what I call micro discards. And when is this over? Is there a final discard that's going to happen? So, we're also going to talk about the silent treatment and the ghosting. Narcissists handle things in a different way. It's that odd kind of superiority complex where they want us to chase them. So they can sometimes go quiet without talking to us, wanting us to reaffirm how much we love them. And it's a test that we go through. Sometimes it's a punishment. So the narcissist, they can use a silent treatment as a form of emotional manipulation and also control. This type of tactic involves ignoring, withdrawing communications from somebody as a means of punishing them or asserting dominance. And the narcissist will do this, and it gets us scared. So we come closer to them. But we're trying to have a connection with them, but we are often left with a one-sided relationship. And the narcissist uses this tactic to gain power, control over us, and it also will avoid them taking responsibility for their own behavior. So they'll just walk away instead of acknowledging our feelings, or they'll turn things around on us so we feel guilty. We're going through all these thoughts in our head, and we're seeking, in a sense, a dopamine hit or just some comfort. And all we need to hear is that we're understood, whether they agree with us or not, but they run from conversations. And the silent treatment can be very damaging, causes feelings of anxiety, abandonment, self-doubt. It can also lead to a breakdown in communication and further damage the relationship. So as you see, as the silent treatment has certain outcomes, we're more anxious, we're scared of abandonment. We have lower self-esteem because we're doubting ourselves. And this is all transforming us as our brain tries to adjust. So not everybody that uses the silent treatment is a narcissist, but people that use this tactic without realizing the harm it can cause is something to be cautious of. But when it's used as a pattern of behavior, it can be a sign of a larger form of emotional abuse. So how do we handle this? We need to recognize it's not our fault. This is a form of emotional manipulation. It's not our fault that the narcissist uses this tactic. So don't blame yourself or think that you've done something wrong that causes this behavior. This is just the way that the narcissist is, the way they handle things. And also don't engage in their game. Narcissists will have kind of like strong boundaries where they don't want things to like be a compromise or to go our way. So we respect their boundaries, even to our detriment. And that's a part of the reason that they don't want to back down on things. They don't want to compromise because then they don't get what they want. They have to consider our feelings. A lot of times they don't process it because they are in a younger emotional state. Their childlike mentality. And it's interesting too, trying to figure out if a child isn't at risk for narcissism, is they will often use much better intellectual word patterns and sound a little bit older than their like baseline education level is. So they can sound older, but they're not necessarily educationally as advanced. Not that they're dumb or behind or lacking. And I don't mean to use the word dumb. That might not have been the best word, but they use that as a form of manipulation to hide things that they are lacking. And the narcissist is really good with word patterns, the things that they say. And so they've learned that from a young age. So when we don't engage in their game, it's sometimes tempting to break the silence by pleading. A lot of us do that. Apologizing, begging for communication. However, this can sometimes we reinforce the narcissist's power and control. Instead, we have to focus on taking care of ourselves, finding healthy ways to cope with the situation. We need to set boundaries, be clear what we're willing to tolerate and what we're not. We have to let them know we cannot keep doing this. I can give you 2 hours if you need, but we're going to discuss this, or we'll definitely need to talk about this tomorrow. But a lot of times we don't set our boundaries, and the narcissist pushes our boundaries. So consider ending the relationship if it's a recurring pattern, unwilling to change their behavior. It's different if they want to change it or they're seeing that it's hurting us. But if they don't mind continuing to hurt us, that's a problem. And sometimes we can seek help, whether it's talking to a trusted friend or family member, maybe a therapist. But narcissists like to ghost people. They also use this as power and control in their relationship. Ghosting, abruptly cutting off the communication with somebody without explanation or warning. And it can cause a lot of different emotions to go on within us. Narcissists can use this tactic to punish somebody that they feel has wronged them. And it could be like minute things. If you didn't take the garbage out, now they're not talking to you, and they don't want to hear, like, I'm sorry, I was busy, I was going to get it in the morning. Whatever it is, they will sometimes just leave you. Sometimes they ghost you because they don't want to take accountability as far as a breakup. They don't want to acknowledge what they're doing behind our backs. And sometimes they just want to play both fields. So another reason a narcissist might ghost someone is that they lack empathy. They don't understand or care about how their impact of their behavior has on others. They don't want to discuss it. They don't want to make things better because then they have to talk about it. They have to think things through, and that deals with somebody else's emotions. They may see the other person or object to be used for their own benefit rather than a human being that has feelings and needs, and that's why they objectify us. And it's interesting too, they with the video games and certain things like that they're just objects, they're not real people. And so it's easy to kill something that's not a person. It's easier to do harm. So watch out for that change that could happen in dealing with those kind of video games, things like that. They also saw children that have some narcissistic traits, that the way that they play with toys are more objectified than personified. So it's important to remember ghosting is a form of emotional abuse. It's not healthy. Narcissists can communicate poorly with people who love them because they lack that empathy. They have this distorted sense of self. Narcissism is a personality disorder, has that inflated sense of self-importance, a need for admiration, and also that lack of empathy for others. So in that need for admiration, when they feel that we're going to abandon them, they will, in a sense, abandon us for us to prove that we're not going to abandon them, that we come closer to them. They won't come close. They won't express their feelings. They won't, in general, that they, a lot of times, will just let it go. They don't have the pride. Their pride is too high to chase after us sometimes. They will at times, but overall, they just want us to prove what we're willing to go through for them. So they will put us through a lot. Narcissists can also engage in communication that is manipulative and controlling. So sometimes they talk, sometimes they don't. They may use tactics like gaslighting, where they make the other person doubt their own perceptions and feelings, and just refusing to engage in communication. And this gives them power. And that's all they're about, is power, admiration. And communication is a two-way street. Healthy communication is required for both people to be open, honest, and willing to listen. So when you think about your relationship with the narcissist, how often were they willing to be open? How often were they honest? And how often were they willing to listen? Narcissists do micro discards to manipulate us, to get us to come closer. But we are coming closer to the fire, and we have to remember that. So if this was helpful, please like. That helps with the algorithm. Comment below on some things that you found helpful, or some of the things you've gone through, or any topic requests that you would like. I like making videos for you guys for a more personalized healing process. Join us in live chat, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.